Coming up tonight, Professor James Mwangi Kobila pledges to track abusers after a presidential decree propels him to head the Human Rights Commission. 15 members were appointed. Etudis pray for peace and unity in Cameroon under the leadership of their descendants Paul Biya. They also pledge to be loyal to state institutions. And Trade Minister Luke Magwambarga Tangana investigates the origin of fake hot drinks, causing untold sufferings to consumers' health and the nation's economy. The details right now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
The new chair of Cameroon's National Commission on Human Rights and Freedoms says his immediate task will be to reduce torture to minimum levels and protect human rights. Professor James Mwangi Kobila was speaking shortly after he was appointed by President Paul Biya for a 5-year mandate. The presidential decree also appointed the Commission's Vice Chair, Secretary General, and 13 members. Constantine Bom has the details.
Professor James Kobila is now the new person of the National Commission of Human Rights. He is not new to the House, as he has served the National Human Rights Commission for about 6 years.
Speed up its strategic performance framework for the next 10 years so that we can better invest ourselves in the accomplishment of our three missions.
They will have to launch inquiries, investigations into alleged human rights violations while recommending legal or departmental actions against human rights violators. The Lamido of Kolofata is amongst the new members.
We'll act for the consolidation of the rule of law in Cameroon by the promotion of human rights to prevent torture.
The new team is expecting collaboration with various state authorities, especially in getting access to places of detention so that they can ensure that people detained are not tortured. The goal is to see that Cameroon's human rights record is improved.
The Metropolitan Archbishop of the Yaoundé Archdiocese, His Grace Jean Barga, has doubled down on the virtues of love, peace and unity as assorted tools for a universal community and for the development of humanity. He was speaking today during a concelebrated Pontifical High Mass organized by sons and daughters of Etudi at the Marian Sanctuary in Etudi to pray for peace and unity and for the President of the Republic, who is a descendant of the Etudi community. Unity Palace correspondent Amenkeng Edward completes that story.
They came from all the dioceses that make up the Yaoundé ecclesiastical province, including scores of cabinet ministers and friends of Etudi, for the concelebrated Pontifical High Mass at the Marian Sanctuary officiated by the Metropolitan Archbishop of Yaoundé, His Grace Jean Barga. The representative of the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, Minister Samuel Vondo Ayelo, Director of the Civil Cabinet at the Presidency of the Republic, arrived at the sanctuary and was welcomed by the Central Regional Governor, Nasiri Paul Biya, and the Archbishop before the start of the concelebrated High Mass. The soul-searching homily of the chief celebrant, His Grace Jean Barga, was predicated on the virtues of love, peace and unity as essential ingredients to build a universal community and for the development of humanity. He dedicated special prayers for the peaceful repose of the ancestors of Etudi, who offered their land for the construction of the sanctuary, and for the President of the Republic, Paul Biya.
the people of Etude. They have decided to live together, to be united, and to organize their capacity of solidarity for all of them. That's why we came as a church to pray for them, to offer these intentions to God.
The Archbishop saw in the gesture of the Etude sons and daughters, organizers of the event, a clear manifestation of Jesus Christ as a messenger of love, peace and unity, the very foundation of the church, and virtues that the people of Etude hold very close to their hearts.
This type of ceremony to celebrate the brotherhood with all our brothers and sisters who are scattered all over the country.
Outstanding of all was a magnificent portrait of the Blessed Virgin Mary offered to the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, through his representative. Before leaving the Marian Sanctuary, the College of Clergies dedicated a special benediction for the divine assistance for Cameroon during this very turbulent moment, and to the President of the Republic as a descendant of the Etude community.
The government of Cameroon has signed a 1.6 billion CFA francs loan agreement with the African Development Bank to finance feasibility study of the Cameroon-Chad railway line. The Minister of the Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Alamin Ousmane May, signed for Cameroon, while the ADB was represented by its Deputy Director General Solomon Kone. We have details with Ewane Pole.
The project is the result of the will of the Cameroonian and Chadian governments to complete the Douala-N'Djamena railway corridor by the construction of the railway section linking Gaoundéré in Cameroon to N'Djamena, the capital of Chad.
Of the excellent quality of the relationship between our two heads of state, Marshal Idriss Déby Itno and His Excellency President Paul Biya. It's going to certainly increase the size, the volume of our exchanges. If we integrate, we'll be trading together and we will diversify our economy.
The Minister of Economy, Alamin Ousmane May, signed on behalf of the Cameroon government in the presence of Chad's Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, Ahmad Abakar Ajid, while Solomon Kone represented the African Development Bank.
For the feasibility study, it's 1.6 billion CFA on each side. So combine the two, you have 3.2 billion CFA.
The purpose of the feasibility study is to establish the socio-economic viability of the railway.
Cameroon's livestock development and of the power has become a full public structure with legal personality and financial autonomy. This follows a February 12 presidential decree transforming Sodepa into a state-owned company. But what will change and when? Ewane Pule once more.
With its new status, the Cameroon Livestock Development and Husbandry Corporation, SODEPA, social capital has increased by 11.12 billion CFA francs.
We are going from more than 800,000 million to almost 12 billion CFA. It is due to the fact that the head of state gave back to us the new slaughterhouse of Gaoundéré, the frigorific entrepot of Douala, Yaoundé, Gaoundéré, and Kribi. Through the slaughter's house, we will be able to give service to butchers, in terms of furnishing to them good quality of meat.
According to President Paul Biya's decree signed on February 12, 2021, SODEPA becomes a full public company with legal personality and financial autonomy.
Officials of the Ministry of Trade have cautioned bar and nightclub owners against serving counterfeit drinks to consumers. The Minister of Trade, Luc Magwambarga-Tangana, visited some leisure joints in Yaoundé to investigate the origin of some hot drinks served to clients but said to be very dangerous. Clarice Aritakan reports.
Nightclubs and snack bars, leisure joints, where different brands of liquor are sold. It is therefore not unusual that some unscrupulous persons have been accused of mixing the good with the bad. This is, however, what the Control Brigade at the Ministry of Trade was on a mission to find out in the spots which caught their fancy. 4 hours of going through content and packaging details from late night into the early hours of the morning. This follows information from various sources, increasingly attributing the sale of counterfeit hot drinks to bar and club owners. The multiple dangers connected to the phenomenon is a call for concern.
The products are safe, except one small, 1 or 2 cases where we have found, you have found artificial alcohol.
The greatest worry is that of traceability, given that more and more there are complaints about counterfeit activities taking place in unsuspected quarters. Nevertheless, while suspects have been cautioned against continuing as they expose themselves to the cold hands of the law, the rest of the population is urged to be vigilant.
The 2021 finance law has introduced a number of tax innovations in order to limit the impact of COVID-19 on businesses and to the social fabric. The sector's concerns range from transport through agriculture to the hotel industry and the digital economy. Once more, Clarissa Ritakang.
The tax innovations in the 2021 finance law have 2 goals: economic recovery after the turbulence caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and a reinforcement of reforms put in place to render tax procedures simple and less time-consuming. Measures to secure revenue include making e-declarations and payments mandatory and the suppression of annual receipts. Furthermore, the taxpayer's card has been replaced and special transactions renewed as part of efforts to ensure that businesses uphold their tax obligations. A number of domains of work are the main beneficiaries, from small and medium-sized enterprises to multinationals. The promotion of the local industry in fields such as cosmetics, the digital economy, forestry, agriculture, hotel business and pharmaceutics will be a priority to stimulate import substitution. Regarding public spending, only enterprises duly registered as active taxpayers and which are not threatened by temporal or definite suspension will be authorized to take part in the award of public contracts. The tax innovations are intended to keep the economy running, bearing in mind that COVID-19 remains an obstacle to optimal revenue mobilization from taxes.
Enticing innovations out there, and taxpayers no longer have to move to pay their taxes as the reform of electronic procedures has simplified payments for them. Another advantage of the fiscal reform is that money no longer changes hands, reducing theft and fraud. How are payments now effected? Beatrice Ngom.
The paperwork ended on December 31st, 2020, just like moving from home to a taxation office to acquit self of the revenue law. Henceforth, taxpayers with a simplified or direct tax scheme can pay their dues from the comfort of their homes. The reform on electronic procedures spells out where to pay taxes and when to pay. The fiscal administration has set up divisional tax centers whereby the taxpayer can pay in their dues. The taxpayer is only expected to register online. After the registration and the creation of an account, he or she can then proceed with the payment. Some can choose to pay via bank transfers, others by phone or at the counter in banks. A digitalization of procedures of declaration of payment and of issuance of documents of taxation, which is also done in the divisional tax centers created for the purpose. For the first quarter of 2021, the deadline for the filing and payment of taxes and duties, initially scheduled for the 15th of each month, have been postponed. In the divisional tax centers, payments for the month of February will go till the 28th and for the month of March till the 31st.
Agriculture and Rural Development Minister Gabriel Mbairobe has lauded the courage of cocoa farmers in Menangme-Sama, who, in spite of difficult working conditions, contributed to Cameroon's economic growth. Speaking during a visit to plantations in the Mbam-Kim division, the minister advised farmers to join common initiative groups and be eligible to state funding. Maimun Anjoya reports from CRTV Center.
Bangasina alone produces at least 13,000 tons of cocoa every year, and given that cocoa production is a priority under the 2020-2030 development strategy of Cameroon, the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, is multiplying strategies to modernize the sector, create jobs and reduce poverty.
In this subdivisional, people are working very hard. I'm very proud to see young people, women, all the population be involved in the agriculture sector. The government will support them, the government will work.
Despite the enclaved nature of the production sites and the poor climatic conditions, stakeholders are expected to give in their best by mobilizing all the necessary resources that will lead to better yields. The tour was concluded by the donation of farm tools to encourage and support the farmers in Bangasina.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. Thank you. The Member of Parliament for the Mbiamenkum constituency in Bui Division of the Northwest Region, Honorable Esther Shalanga, has challenged civilians to collaborate with defense and security forces for peace to return to Mbiamenkum. The MP visited her people and handed over assistance to health centers and food items to the population. All Atitanki reports from Bamenda.
This is her first ever home visit to her constituency following her election into parliament. During the visit, the people's representative handed over medical assistance to the Mbiame Health Center, given the health challenges they face.
They don't even have the way to go out and look for medicine. So when somebody is having a simple malaria, when they would try to take the person up to Kumbo or to Fumban, the person will just give up in the road.
The Member of Parliament for the Mbiamenkum constituency, Stella Shala Nga, accompanied by the Mayor of Mbiame, Williams Shea, donated foodstuff and other household equipment to some internally displaced persons from her area seeking refuge in some parts of the West, Northwest and Central regions. They used the gathering to encourage the internally displaced persons to return home and to collaborate with the defense and security forces in order to stamp out insecurity in the division.
Over 200 pupils in Gambia, the Sanaga Maritime Division, have received school material and COVID-19 preventive kits from the CPD member of the National Assembly, Honorable Marinette Ngoy Yetna. This was during the first exchange award championed by the MP to improve school performance and help communities to halt the spread of the coronavirus. Details with Esther Kima.
A goodwill gesture to the pupils of the elementary level in Gambia in the Sanaga Maritime Division, the benevolence is of the CPDM member of the National Assembly, Honorable Marinette Ngoy Yetna, a promise kept to the youth in need of assistance for a smooth sail in their academic journey.
I was voted to Parliament to defend their interests, and today I am back to meet their demands and also to reassure the education community of our relentless efforts to respond to their requests.
Their parents, whose mainstay is agriculture and today challenged by the COVID-19 pandemic, can breathe easy as the elected representative working with the Development Association, RESPAC, lightens their charge. With school authorities in Gambia hailing the initiative, the belief remains strong that the pupils in the locality can rise to the honor roll in the littoral region, beating poverty and rolling back the spread of the coronavirus.
Plan International Cameroon and its partners have been assisting children displaced by Boko Haram terrorism in the far north region. More than 25 classrooms have been constructed by the NGO with 750 benches and food handed to children and schools in need. Sylvester Atemke reports from Marwa.
Since 2014, the Lake Chad Basin has been facing security crisis caused by the terrorist sect Boko Haram. As part of their humanitarian response, Plan International, through financial support from the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, has been on the field to salvage the plight of these affected communities through construction and equipment of schools.
We choose Bonderi because here we have two types of activities. Over the construction of new classes, we did also the rehabilitation. And here we have a very good feedback.
The senior division officer for Mayo Sava also used the handing over ceremony to express gratitude to Plan International Cameroon for contributing to alleviate poverty and promoting education, among other activities.
It will contribute to improve the number of our children who have abandoned school because of this insecurity situation. I would like to encourage the parents to send back their children to this school.
Plan International Cameroon has constructed and equipped 25 classrooms with 750 benches in Kolofata, Mora, Makari, and Gofe municipalities in Mayo Sava and Logon and Shari divisions.
Construction work in some health facilities in the North Regional Capital, Garoua, is going on well despite of some technical delays. The observation was made by the delegation of members of parliament who inspected sites for the construction of a referral hospital and the Garoua Medical Center. Tony Nanyongo reports.
On tour of the sites where two major health facilities are under construction, the members of parliament took note that despite some delay, work is going on as planned. These include the Garoua Medical Center and the reference hospital.
The work we have seen here, we are globally satisfied in the two hospitals. They have some delay, but you see, we are human beings. They have given us some explanation. We expect that in September, the two hospitals will be ready.
While the execution rate at the Garoua Medical Center with a capacity of 120 beds stands at 80%, construction work at the reference hospital is 59.50%.
Our referral hospital is built on 9.95 hectares and contains 8 major buildings. Total capacity of sleeping beds are 293. We have a capacity of 211 parkings. Contractor-wisely, we are supposed to be done by 30th June 2021.
Before the tour of the sites, the parliamentarians met with the governor of the North Region and also had a working session with all the officials and engineers involved in the projects.
The Strategic Humanitarian Services SHUMAS has handed over humanitarian needs to more than 300 IDPs from the northwest and southwest regions in Douala. Each IDP received at least a 50-kilogram bag of rice, as Cynthia Tim tells us from Douala.
Food is one component of life. Life which SHUMAS Cameroon is fostering through its provision of food to IDPs and affected host families in Douala. The beneficiaries attest living away from home life has been made easy through the assistance.
I'm here with my 4 children. This bag of rice will help us for the next 3 months.
Officials of the non-governmental organization SHUMAS Cameroon explained that the move is to respond to the immediate needs of the IDPs, adding that it is among many humanitarian response mechanisms that the organization has been carrying out in the country.
In terms of humanitarian response, we're already on our 3rd year. Thought that it was also good that we try to stretch our hands to the IDPs in Douala. We are having plans in the near future to think about their health situation, think about their shelter too, and non-food items.
375 IDPs and host families have thus benefited from the largesse of SHUMAS Cameroon and partners.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Administrative authorities have called on the population of the Northwest region to strictly respect COVID-19 barrier measures as the pandemic resurfaces. Over 116 new cases with 5 deaths have been confirmed within the past few weeks. Bodin Sama has updates from the Public Health Emergency Center, downtown Yaoundé. Bodin Sama, over to you.
Good evening to you, Moki Edwin Kinzeka. I should say it was with a lot of dissatisfaction that administrative authorities in the Northwest region noticed this decline as far as the respect of barrier measures by inhabitants of for that region is concerned, talking about COVID-19. Given that within the last 2 weeks, they have noticed about 116 new cases of persons tested positive for COVID-19 in the Northwest region, and equally for within the last 2 weeks, 5 more persons have died for COVID-19 in the Northwest region of Cameroon. And that's why these administrative authorities have been reminding the population of the Northwest region as to the need to continue respecting these different outlined barrier measures, given that the hit with the spread of COVID-19 in the Northwest region. We have Mizam, we have Boyo, we have Donga Mantung, and Ngoketunjia. These 4 divisions are highly hit with an increase in the number of persons tested positive for COVID-19. Generally speaking, ever since we had the first case of COVID-19 in the Northwest region last year, we have had 1,189 persons tested positive for COVID-19 in that part of the country, with 935 Cameroonians who have recovered from COVID-19 in that region. 173 active cases, with 81 Cameroonians in the Northwest region who have died of COVID-19. Out of these 81 persons who have died of COVID-19, 40 of them died in the different hospitals. Meanwhile, 41 died in the communities. And that's why the administrative authorities and public health experts are discouraging many persons who are sick or tested positive who stay back at home. If you are tested positive, go to the different treatment centers and have yourself treated as far as the COVID-19 is concerned. Back to you, Moki Edwin Kinzeka.
Thanks, Bodin Sama. In a bid to provide quality services to its clients and facilitate payments from a distance, Cementcam, an enterprise that produces cement and concrete, has signed a partnership agreement with Yup Cameroon, an online banking service and affiliate of Société Générale. The agreement was signed by the Director General of Cementcam, Mr. Benoit Garchet, and the Director of Yup Cameroon, Madame Moudeke Sylviane. Details with Ashu in Douala.
All it takes is a click on the application My Cementcam to connect and buy Cementcam products online. Thanks to Yup, a young enterprise affiliated to Société Générale with a young team of 20 employees engaged in e-commerce transactions nationwide.
We want to give the ability to our clients to buy their cement directly from the mobile phone without going to a point of sale of Cementcam. So it is easier and more practical. You need to have, a smartphone, and directly you can go to the My Cementcam and choose the way of your payment and of your mobile payment, and choose Yup and pay your merchandise.
In a partnership agreement signed between Yup and Cementcam, a well-known enterprise specialized in the production of building materials in Cameroon and Central Africa, Cementcam can henceforth track electronically on the app My Cementcam who is buying cement or concrete in bags or tons. The benefits of this electronic tool cannot be overemphasized.
We want to develop a lot of digital tools, digital application, and in particular focusing on cement sales, e-commerce. So really what we have done in the last year and a half is to develop our own application, with some partners. And one of the very important things, if you want to be good in the e-commerce, you have to have good e-payment way of doing the things.
Operational since July 2019, the app My Cementcam has registered about 15,000 orders online, already contributing to 63% of Cementcam's sales in 2020. Yup Cameroon, on its part, has in the last 3 years counted over 600,000 clients with over 500 sales points across the country.
And that's where we end the 7:30 news on CRTV. The next news is coming up in exactly 30 minutes from now with Lucrece Mebenga. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.